Hey everybody, it's Mac here. Hope you're all having a good weekend so far. You can see behind me is a little bit cloudy, a little gloomy here in uh, southeast Texas. We had some rain this morning, got a little bit yesterday, but it didn't even, my rain gauge didn't even accumulate anything, so it wasn't. It sprinkled for 10 or 15 minutes and then it actually downpoured, but it was for a couple of minutes. So we got a good bit today. Like I said, this morning, this afternoon is supposed to be kind of clear. There's some hit or miss stuff still in the area, but just kind of hit or miss. So I wanted to do another video. I posted earlier this week. I posted the third video and went back and watched the second video and realized that there was a whole bunch of stuff that had gone on that I didn't talk about. Didn't kind of show y'all some stuff or talk about some stuff with it. For y'all. It's kind of hard to take y'all on a journey with me if I'm jumping around here to there and there to here. So I figured I was going to come out and check on the pad. It's supposed to start raining again here, and I don't know. It looked like maybe 30 more minutes or so according to the radar. But wanted to kind of show y'all some stuff. So I figured since I just kind of show y'all what was going on. This is the pad for the house. The builders were out here at one point. They were going to try to form up some stuff, and I still had just soft spots from all the rain that we've had. You can kind of see I've covered it. My wife and I actually covered it with some plastic, probably about midway down, about in here, and I'll go walk over there in a second. There was some dirt piled up where I actually dug a hole to try to get some of that water to come up out of the ground, and then on the backside, opposite the wood that you kind of see right there, there's another spot where I had dug a hole. Drained a little bit of water and it wasn't really doing much, so I went ahead and filled the hole and packed it in kind of as I went. But again, we put the plastic down with the rain. We're expecting today to be the bad day. The last 2 days it was a real low chance. Thursday we didn't get anything. Friday we got just, like I said, a little bit. This morning it rained some. My rain gauge says it's just at an inch, just over an inch of rain for us. And might get some more today, and then there's a 70% chance tomorrow. So right there is that little hump I was saying. You can see where the dirt's piled up, and kind of right in the middle there's a hole. It's literally the width of the spade on my shovel, wide. So I don't know, 8 inches, 10 inches wide, about 16 inches deep, just to where I started to hit my clay. But again, just trying to get the water out. It's got to where we were actually taking a towel. It was filling up so quick. We were taking a towel and putting it down there to get the water out, just because it wasn't evaporating as quick as we wanted to. So we were doing that. But we covered it with the plastic. Like I said, we're trying to keep those two spots dry. It's where we've had so much water when they first did the pad. All this area out here, you can see the stump right there, and then just all this area, and it was almost up to the pad. There was a lot of water, and we think that some of it kind of soaked back into the pad. My dirt guy actually came out, and all this right in here, he rolled it away, pushed some junk that was sitting underneath it, and then brought all that stuff back in. The backside, he did just a little bit. Most of the water that was back there, and I'll walk over there, but most of that water wasn't touching the pad, but it was just making one heck of a mud hole. So he pushed some of that stuff all the way, and then he kind of cleared out further away, trying to make sure that this water standing wasn't the cause of our problems. He's trying to make sure of that, so he pushed it further away to where, and here I'm back there now, but you can kind of see he pushed it further away to where it was sitting, up in here, and it's kind of running off some. I've got a little bit where I've been driving my tractor over here. You can kind of see I've blocked up a little bit of what he had where it was running, so I'll have to get in with my front end or my bucket on my tractor. I don't know, maybe Monday, Tuesday probably. I try not to get out here when it's real wet like this, because I just tear up the ground with my tractor. If I had a bulldozer or something, that might do a little bit better. But yeah, the tractor just tears it up. So that's what the pad, we're hoping this coming week. We're not supposed to have any rain again until Friday, I think it is. Friday and Saturday right now. But we're hoping that this week they'll be able to come out here and at least maybe get the forms and all that stuff done. They've got to dig all the little structures, the contraptions you see out here. They're going to bury those. I'm pretty sure he said like 2 feet in the ground. Not bury them, but dig those, put those in the ground. The concrete's going to be that deep around the edge. And then I'm going to have where it kind of goes across, and mostly that's where the supports for the building are going to go. I forget that. Again, I'm not a construction guy, so I don't remember that. But so that's where that stuff's going to go in. I'm hoping they can get that stuff done. Maybe get the concrete poured this week. I still don't know. We're just kind of up in the air with that. So that's what's going on with the pad. I'm going to walk back here to the barn. The stalls. I can't say a barn, but the stalls, kind of show you all what we did with those things. So I'll be back in a second. All right, we're back. We're back down here by the stalls now for the horses. I also wanted to update. I was having some issues with the old Kubota here. And she prefers this one. She don't like to use the new one for some reason. I think she's just not used to it. I told her one day I'm gonna make her get on it and ride it around, and she'd fall in love with it. But we were using the Kubota. And I asked her about the lights on it. And she says, I hadn't really used the lights. And I said, all right. And I said, well, mess with the switch. So she I told her, I said, turn the switch up. It rotates, clockwise, counterclockwise. I said, rotate it up. And she did. And the lights came on. It was running at the time. I said, all right. And I put it down one. She did that. And I said, that's back where it was, right? She said, yeah. I said, all right. Now throw it down one more. And she did. And she was like, well, I didn't know it was 3 position. And she put it back in the middle. Are the lights on? I said, no. I said, I kind of think they're a parking light, but those lights are so old. One of the headlights kind of comes on. The other one is fairly bright, but neither of them are real bright anyway. I said, but yeah, it's a 3-position switch. I said, one is off, and then the other one I think was like parking lights or something, or it might be low beams for the headlights, and the other one's high beams for the headlights. I'm not 100%. But she put them down in that off position, the bottom position, and sure enough, she stopped the tractor. I don't know, it was a couple hours later. I don't remember if we went and ate lunch or what we did, but we went and did something. We came back, the tractor fired right up. So old Kubota's still running like a charm. It wasn't a dead battery. It was a missed position on a switch. So, but anyway, like I said, I got a set down there. You can kind of see there's old Aviator's head sticking out. We just did some real basic. They're all 10 by 10. 4x4 posts on the corners, and then in the front, I'll zoom back out here. I've got a 4-foot gate and then a 6-foot wall for the horses. We're gonna end up having to go back. I'll show you here a couple of the boys. They got their heads down, and I'm not sure if they're napping or eating. Probably a little of both. And then we've got this one here that we're gonna obviously kind of use as our little feed area. We're going to put some doors eventually on it, just to keep whatever out. The pallets of food showed up, I think it was 3 days ago maybe, and actually loaded those in with the Coyote tractor. I've got to get the forks that I've got all the way under those pallets, and it doesn't like to pick them up, but it did it for me. So I was grateful. I was grateful for the Coyote for that. I'd have been upset with my dealer that I bought it from, because he looked it up and he said, oh yeah, you got plenty of power to pick that up. And like I said, it didn't like it, but it did pick it up. So, and each one of those is actually just over 2,000 pounds. You can kind of see the red bag there, all those red bags. And I've got 2,000 pounds in those. And then each one has got some of the blue bags. Well, don't mind the shaving pellets, sawdust pellets, that's what they are, up on top. Those were added after, but those blue bags were on top when they delivery showed up. So, and then that's going to be kind of the storage area, the picks, the extra bags of shavings, some feed buckets, watering buckets. We've got some ladders where we're still doing the work. But yeah, just for the stalls, like I said, they're all 10 by 10, 4 by 4 posts, 2 by 6s up the sides, the backs. That's what's, all the walls are 2 by 6s. And then we kind of did some of the roof stuff with 4 by 4s or 2 by 4s, excuse me. And then we got some corrugated tin to go up there with some sheet metal screws, or I think they're sheet metal screws, whatever kind of screws they're supposed to be. So this is kind of what they look like here. We're going to have to do some touch-ups. If you own horses, you know that they sometimes they get bored. They like to chew on wood, so they're chewing on wood for us. So I'm going to have to kind of touch that stuff up. Between two of our boys here, this is Twister and Little Man. You can see they've kind of pushed some of the boards off of the, they're just nails that are what we've got in there. It's just nails. So they're pushing on it, and they're just leaning on each other. That's Little Man there. Say hi, Little Man. They're all dirty and filthy. This rain has not been nice to us. But we're going to go back and screw some of those in where some of these boys are pushing. The ones on this other side, we got a little ahead of ourselves. Again, and we're not construction folks by any means. I know the basics of doing this kind of stuff. My wife does, but we're not construction folks. And I'm gonna tell them this one here. You can see we got the sheet metal that's kind of hanging over the edge, and I ended up just kind of screwing it down because it was flopping in the wind, and the mare that's in this stall doesn't like it too much. So we let her get used to it for a few days when she stopped reacting so much. But you can kind of see, you can kind of tell this wall here kind of goes at this angle versus kind of going more straight back. So that back corner we didn't check for square, and we started laying this all out. We put little stakes and string, and so it's pretty straight here down this angle, but this one wall we put that corner too far in where it should have probably been about here where my finger's at, but it's over here. So that's why our roof isn't square. So the tin, when we put it up, it kind of looks all fun. So, but anyway, that's kind of update those. They're nothing special. They're going to be just run-ins eventually. Our barn is going to be, it's going to be a really small barn compared to what we used to have in Tennessee. We built a really nice barn in Tennessee. It was shoey. It was really nice. It was 120 foot by 90 foot. And it was a 90 by 60 riding arena, a covered riding arena. And then the other half was, we had 15 stalls. We had 2 tack rooms. We had a feed room. We had a wash bay. We had, the wash bay was one of them, but we had 2 areas where we could kind of cross tie the horses to brush them, before, after a ride, just grooming them in general when they get dirty, stuff like that. We had an office. We had a half bathroom in there. I mean, it was a really nice barn. It was a really nice barn. But it was just, we didn't use it all. The second tack room, we never even finished building the walls on it like we wanted to. It was just, again, it was too big. We didn't need all that room, but we were going for glory. So that sky's getting dark back there, y'all. If I cut this short, that's because I'm getting rained on. I don't like being in the rain. I'm afraid I'll float away. So, but anyway, so over this area, kind of through this first wood line, you can kind of see a little bit up on the hill. I'll try to zoom it in. Yeah, you can see up on the hill through the trees right there, somewhere in that area. We're going to try to pick us a little bit of a flatter spot. It'll probably be more over there. Put a smaller barn over there, and it's gonna be a few stalls, 3-4 stalls. In case we get an animal that's sick and has to be quarantined, we can take it over there. But then when my wife gets back into doing some riding lessons, she wants to have a covered little riding arena, and it might even be a round pen that we kind of try to put a roof on, or throw it under, get a carport cover or something. I don't know yet, but it's going to be small compared to what we have. But it's going to be over there, and we'll just kind of take it as it goes. There's no plans on when. It could be 2 years, could be 4 years, could be 10 years. We don't know yet, but eventually we'll have that. So I still got a lot of cleanup to do. Like I said, I'm trying not to complain about this rain. I know that we need it, but we've gotten, let me see. I'm going to round it to 7 inches that first time. We got 2 inches the next day. We got 1 inch today. We've gotten another 2 inches, 2¼ inches. I want to say it was earlier this week, maybe last weekend. So, I mean, we're close to, I didn't even do the math of that was going on there, 15, 16 inches of rain probably in the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. Probably not even 4 weeks, probably 3 weeks. We've gotten all that rain, and I've been complaining about the rain for several weeks now, not just what this recent stuff is, but several weeks I've been complaining about the rain. Not complaining, talking about the rain and how we do need it, but I wish it would give me a break and let it dry up a little bit. I'm going to show you here where in a riding arena. Let me zoom this camera back out. You can see I've got just standing water, and all the flags. This is where the round pin's going to be. I moved some of them over there because I was digging some stumps out. I've gotten pretty good with that old backhoe on that Coyote. I had some stumps here that I dug out. I thought that was a stump, but that's just where they had piled up some of the debris and stuff. I had probably in that area, I think I had 3 or 4, and then I had 1 or 2 over here. So, again, the rain. I don't want to get out here. I mean, just me walking around in my mud boots, I'm sinking a little bit, so I don't want to get the tractor out here. But this water, got to get it out of here. It's helping me pack in these or pack in the dirt rather, back in these holes. But it is not helping for me to continue to clean up, get this stuff going. This is just, for now, it's going to be an area where we can get the horses out. Shannon will try as she can to kind of get the horses out and just do a little bit of like a lunge with them, just to get them a little bit of exercise. But it's not enough what they're getting now. When we get the riding arena or the round pen going, she'll be able to get out here. She won't be able to work the horses. They're all in desperate need of some manners where they haven't been messed with too much in the last couple of years. A couple of them she wants to finish breaking. A couple of those young ones. I showed you Twister over there. He needs to be broke still. Aviator needs to be finished. The gray one with his head. He's a big old boy right there. He's a mix off of Shannon's mare that she had until she passed of old age, and then we used to have a Appaloosa stud, and they made an Aviator, and he's our biggest horse here, tallest horse here, I should say. But he's just as gentle as could be. So she's kind of started him, but he needs to be finished. And again, none of them really been messed with in a couple of years. So she's got to get on there and do some of her horse whispering magic and get them back to where they're just, not that they're out of hand right now, but they need some exercise. While she's doing it, she can be training them to get them back in shape. Physically and mentally. So, and again, if y'all are, if you're a horse person, you know what I mean. They got to run pretty much wild for a couple of years while we were in Texas. They were still on the place in Tennessee while we were waiting to get the land here, and then Tennessee kind of fell on us quick, and we threw the stalls up. I don't even have fencing. If I did have fencing, I couldn't let them out because I've still got all the debris on the ground. Before I fully turn them out on the property, in the fields, I want to have that grass sown in real good. If I throw them out too early, they'll literally pull all the grass up out of the ground when they go to eat it. And then I'll be in the spot that I'm in, not necessarily now because I've got debris on the ground, but I've got areas where we're starting to get some new grass. I've got areas, heck, in the round pen, I'm gonna try to move it versus just tilling it up and killing it. But got spots where the grass is growing, and it's some of a continuation of the native grass that was here when the trees were all here. Some of it's, like I said, it's new grass. Over where we keep the hay, we had a tarp that it was sitting on, and we had a bunch of grass growing on that tarp. So I took it over on the front side of where the patio was going to end up being the front yard of the house. Big old boom over there. But what's going to end up being the front yard of the house, we threw a bunch of the seeds out there. We took some of that grass and kind of laid it in some of the spots that are still a little bit moist, where the ground's moist, hoping that those roots would kind of take hold. And I'm mainly just trying to get some roots in the ground, some live roots that'll start soaking up some of this water. But two, if we get a lot of real heavy rain, I'm going to end up losing some of my topsoil. So I'm trying to avoid some of that stuff. We've talked about getting, dadgum, what do they call them? Well, I can't think of the actual term. They might be called hay unrollers, but basically you put a bale of hay on it, and you can pull it behind a truck, behind the tractor, whatever, any kind of vehicle with a hitch, basically. And you pull it around, and it will take a round bale like this. I put it on there. Obviously, it'll be laying down so that it would roll, and then it will unroll that bale of hay, and you'll have a line of hay, or through your field, wherever you put it. Those things are typically about 5 feet tall when they're standing up like that one was. So you'll have a 5 foot wide section where you've got hay laying on the ground. One that kind of, it's regenerative farming. So I'm taking those seeds, I'm taking that material from the hay, and I'm applying it back to the earth. Yeah, the horses, the cattle, eventually, when I get those, will eat a bunch of it, but there's a bunch of it that they'll leave. The seeds, most likely that stuff, as they're eating it and sifting through the hay, the seeds will fall into the ground. That's just reseeding my fields. So I'm resowing stuff. I'm not one of these to where, I only want, X grass type. A real popular one in this area is Bahia grass. I'm not going to be, if I get something other than Bahia growing, I'm not going to go and start pulling it out of the ground or spray it to kill it. I'm not going to do that. I don't care, as long as it's not something that's going to harm my animals, There are mostly trees. I don't know about grasses necessarily. That's something I'm going to have to maybe look into. But, clover leaf. Clover is real popular for the cattle. The horses love it too, but they drool like crazy when they eat it. So, if I get clover, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it, as long as it doesn't take over the grass, but it shouldn't. Stuff like that. So I'm going to go and start unrolling those every so often. Once I've got fields and I've got the fencing up and I can release the horses. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make the plan is to make two, and they'll kind of split in the middle here between the two stalls. It'll go back to the first wood line you see. The girls and Aviator, he's a boy, but the girls are all here. Their field will run off this way. It'll go all the way, it'll go to the woods. Again, this first wood line. And then the boys, minus Aviator again, is going to, again, they'll split here, and then theirs will go off here, and they'll be able to go up. You can kind of see over the Kubota. You see the hay on a trailer. Just this side of that is my fencing. That is going to be the boundary fence when it's finished. And then it'll go up, kind of, you can't really see it from here for the stalls, but this field here kind of goes up and wraps around, and it ends up touching over there. Now I'm going to stop them before they can get over to that part, but they're each going to have, for the, let's see, we've got 3 girls and Aviator, so there's 4, and then we've got the 3 boys. Faraz on the left, he's a stallion. We've got Little Man, we got Twister, and then in this stall here is our 2 burros. Well, they used to be burros. I'd probably say they were donkeys now because burros are wild. And although Olaf, which is the black one, if you can see him there. Yeah, there's Olaf there. He is, I want to say, probably 4 years old, maybe 5. And they're little donkeys. Like I said, when we bought them, they were burros. He was completely wild, but he was real young, so it didn't take much for my wife to win him over. And Max is in there too. He's a little tan burro, donkey, whatever. But he is. We bought two burros, and then the lady pretty much threw Max in for free. Just said that he was in really bad shape. He needed a lot of TLC, and basically gave him to us. His hooves were, I don't know what it's called, but they were actually curled up. So instead of his hooves kind of being flat, they actually curled kind of up, kind of like a clown shoe or like a jester shoe. I don't remember what it's called, but again, and we got him. I mean, heck, my wife and I started it. We literally took a wood saw and cut off some of his hooves so that it wasn't so curled up, because one of them was actually back up and touching his leg. The other two weren't real far from it. He could hardly walk at all. He couldn't do anything over a walk, and it was in a very slow walk. So we like I said, we hacked off the long parts. We got a farrier out there, and for, oh boy, I think it took like 1.5 years before, and he still got, you can still look at his hooves, and you can tell that they're just not right, but you would never know that he had the clown shoes going on. So, but that's Max. Max is gentle. He loves us. You can pet on him and scratch on him all you want. But yeah, he's an old man. He doesn't have his top row of teeth, so he kind of gums at his hay when we give it to him, or his grain. We give them a little bit of grain. Those two boys are really easy keepers, so we don't have to do much for them. So but we've got those two. So the boys will be in the front field, kind of towards over the Kubota and towards the hay trailer I was showing you. The girls and Aviator will be to the back side, back this way, to where the hay trailer is up there. That's the front of the property. This is the back of the property. I'm kind of in a horseshoe of trees that surround me here. All right. Of course, the RV is back there. Both the RVs. My daughter's here too, and then my wife and I and the grandbaby live in the other one. But this little horseshoe that I'm in is about 26 acres. And this is just the very front part of the southern part of the property. So we got about 26 here. The horses are going to have, I'm going to guess, probably 8 or 10 acres. Not probably total, 8 or 10 acres total, maybe 10 or 12 even. I'm not real good with that when it comes to guesstimating, so I'd have to look. But so that's where we're kind of at. Like I said, I watched the second video, and then when I did the third video, I was like, man, there's all kinds of stuff that happened. I didn't mention it. I didn't talk about it. I didn't, And again, like I said a little while ago when I was up by the pad, it's hard to bring y'all along on the journey if I'm jumping here and there. So figured I would do this one. One, because I need to do another video. I told you I was going to try to get better about that. So I need to start doing them, I'm not going to say every day. Hopefully it'll be every 3-4 days, something like that. I can do the videos for y'all, bring you along, let you see what's going on, let you see progress. Like I said, I'm hoping, praying, fingers crossed, good vibes, whatever you got. Send it my way that we can get these forms done on this coming week, and hopefully some concrete poured. That would be really nice. I've just got to, tomorrow, once I'm sure that the rain is done tomorrow, which I got to look at the weather, just kind of see what's going on with it. Today was supposed to be mostly the morning it rained. I don't even remember. I hadn't really looked at that for tomorrow yet. But once that's done, I got to get that plastic off, because on the bottom of it, there's a lot of water on top, obviously, but on the bottom of it, you can see where the ground is just kind of trying to get some of the moisture out, and you can see droplets of water on the bottom of the plastic. So obviously, if it'll keep the rain or the moisture out, it'll obviously keep the moisture in too. So I've got to get that off so that we can I want to check on those spots. Like I said, I had one on the back side that was getting a lot better. But the one on the front seemed to be getting worse. And like I said, we were even taking that towel and dipping it in the hole to get some water out. It was just, it was water was coming out of it so quick that it just wasn't evaporating. The hole was literally just filling with water. And eventually that water will start kind of recirculating to where it'll you know, the hole will fill up. If I don't get it out from evaporation or a towel, whatever, it'll soak back into the dirt, and it's a rotating mess of water and mud, and I just don't want any of it. So I'm going to wrap this up. The wind's starting to pick up, and that's what they said was going to happen before this last storm hit us. And this one's possible thunderstorms and hail, so I really don't want to be outside in the hail. But I'm going to wrap it up. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you do, please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the like button. It helps out a lot. You know, I'm not trying to become rich off of YouTube, but I'd like to get some people following my channel, giving me some tips, teaching me some things that I don't know. You know, if you haven't heard me say it before, I'm not a construction guy. I'm not a dirt working guy. I'm not a rancher. You know, I grew up in the city. The only time I've ever been on by Texas standards, it was just a farmette, was the almost 22 acres we had in Tennessee. So now I've got the 106 acres here, so I need to kind of get on it. But I'm hoping that I can pick some knowledge off of some of y'all. I'm hoping that maybe I can show you something that you didn't know. I like to learn stuff, so I want to help people learn. But that rain is coming, so I'm going to get off of here and head back to the house. You can hear me walking already probably. So hope you all have a great weekend. Remember to like, subscribe. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. And wearing a newer hat, Camouflage Texas pattern, from one of the military-friendly websites I partake with. So go Big Orange. As always, I love my Tennessee Volunteers, and hope you all have a good one. See you later.